Good morning, party people. I am still in Oregon City. I think we're done with Greg's car. You know, whenever you do a manual swap and you combine that with an engine swap, a turbo swap, an exhaust swap, you remove all your suspension, your brakes, vacuum lines being done, all other kind of needed maintenance, upgrades, and repairs, that manual swap turns into a project. A lot of projects takes weeks for people to complete. We're doing this in a few days. So this is like, or yesterday was like day 4 or 5 of this manual conversion project with Greg. Takes a lot of time. A couple days ago, I had somebody down in Eugene trying to reserve room for me, and I'm still here in Oregon City, so Portland area. So, you know, I don't know when I'm gonna be there. I just don't. Now today, or last night, I lost an hour of sleep, or at least the clock changed. I don't think it really changed how long I was gonna sleep, but I'm moving kind of slow up here. It's rainy, it's chilly, it's been busting out this manual conversion. I'm not moving too fast. Today, I might take a personal day. Now, does a personal day mean that I won't do no work? I don't know if I've seen one of them days in a long time. You know, the Bible said there's no rest for the weary. But I'm probably not going to do a whole lot today. So I'm going to have to stay a night here and eat this night here in the hotel and figure out what I'm going to do. Try to plan my next week and a half, because it didn't work out the way I thought. I thought I was coming to Oregon City, stay one night, and then move on. But when I got to this 850, more and more things kept adding up. And when you're replacing things, it just takes more time. You know. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video clips, and I'll catch you soon. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert. That's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Man, look at that view. Beautiful, beautiful waterside community. Here we go, party people, back at it. Moved a few things out of the way so we can lower this engine down in there. Put that mount in there. We got some, look like cricket poop. Oh, that's walnut shell ground. Greg has a walnut blaster. Really good for cleaning stuff up. Just gotta vacuum up all that stuff, or I guess it'll blow away one day, huh? So we got this mount in here. I think we got everything out of the way where we could lower this in here. The only thing I'm concerned about is the clutch line that's attached to the clutch master, which is how it came to us. So we didn't disconnect it, so hopefully that won't be an issue. We got 2 people, it should not be bad. So let's go ahead and drop this thing in here. Greg, you got a magnet? There's something over there. Some kind of bolt retainer or something in there. I don't know what that is. Got the oil cooler lines installed, replaced, secured in the front, starter on, clutch slave on, both mounts on, turbo on. We're going with an angle flange, boy, with a 16T, heater hoses on, and we just gotta strap it and drop it. Transmission mounted, everything. After a few up, down, up, push, pull, down, pull, down things, we got this engine set in there on all 3 mounts. Time to start hooking stuff up. Making sure we got everything in place. Moving right along. The alternator connected, the ECT connected, got the ground wires connected, got the knock sensors connected, Got the starter connected, oil sensor connected, got the ground connected down there. Got the crank sensor connected, cam sensor connected. Couple more wire things in position. Getting ready to cut this plug for the PNP switch and dissect the wires for that, wire that stuff together. And then we're going to drop in the intake manifold and get this battery stuff in. Also need to hook up this hydraulic line to the back of this slave cylinder. We got a ground wire on there. Make sure we're not missing any more grounds. Grounds to transmission are important. Looks like we got all the grounds hooked up. Greg, the man of many resources. Got these new solder seal wire connectors from China. Different sizes. You got white for the tiny wires. You got red for the small wires. You got blue for your normal wires. And you got yellow for the big wires. Dang. You think you got 330 pieces. Wow. We used the blues to do the reverse wires. And then the starter connection wire. Can't really see that. The dang focus sucks on this thing. I think my camera's going out. I'm going to have to get a new phone soon. But anyway, that's what we used to do our wiring. He had this cloth wire loom wrap stuff, and he wrapped all his wires up with that so that those wires are not kind of bared out like that. That stuff there. What's that called, Greg?
Tessa tape.
Tessa tape. You get that from any automotive store or hardware store?
Sometimes I order it off Amazon.
So I just pulled this down, and now I'm going to pull it back up. I cut that wire in a way that we could pull that back in there, and we should be good to go. Man, look how far I got that down in there. Woohoo! Look like he's coming with some more Tessa tape. Close up that hole. Let me get this loom in here first, and we'll go from there. At a little bit of a work stoppage, I was wondering how we're going to get this intake manifold through this, and that pulled out. Yikes. Went to the other engine to get that one, and it's got splits in the hose. Man, I'm sorry, my phone is not focusing. Let me reboot, see if that helps. Here's a tip for those of you that are having problems with your ignition. Occasionally, people will have a problem that their ignition will break and their key won't turn and stop like this one. It'll turn around and around, stuff like that. Now, if you can turn the key to position 1, it unlocks the steering wheel, so now you can steer the car. All you have to do next is access this side of the ignition, take these 2 screws out of the ignition switch, pull the ignition switch off of the steering column, plug it back into this harness, then stick the key in the back side of this switch, and you can start and drive the car, as long as the steering wheel's not locked. So turn that so the steering wheel's not locked. Pull this apart, stick a screwdriver in there, start the car. Now, after you get where you want to be, and you no longer need the car running, you take the screwdriver, stick it back in the back of this ignition switch, cut the car off, then you pull the key out. Anybody can get in the car, granted they unlock the door or break the windows, and start the car up, but if they don't have a key to stick in this ignition, the steering wheel will be locked, they can't drive it off. Not that people are thinking that these cars are easy to steal or want to steal them, just a tip. With the key turned to unlock the steering wheel, you take a screwdriver, put it in here, and you can turn it to start the car. Man, I'm really having focus problems here. So, put a screwdriver in there, turn the car, start it, put it to run, accessory, and back off. Battery's getting a little low, so I may not do as many clips, but we're going to work fast and furiously to get this stuff back together so we can get this car fired up. We might drop a computer in it, see if it'll crank, and just go from there. We need to hook calipers up and struts in and exhaust on, all kind of stuff's going on here. So let us get busy. It is 5:45. Things are going together. Got the turbo lines all hooked up. Man, this coolant line that hooks on the front side of the turbo closer to the engine is very difficult to get on if you don't put it on prior to dropping the engine in the car. So you want that on before you install the turbo or the engine. Really, when you install the turbo to the exhaust manifold. And the coolant line that runs across the back of the engine does not have a place to brace it on the R exhaust manifold. So make sure you put your hose on and put it in the orientation that your hose is not going to have any stress on it when you hook it up to your turbo. So get ready to hook up the coolant lines in the firewall. Greg is hanging the exhaust, and we're slowly moving toward the front. Here we go, folks. About to do the finishing touches on this manual swap. We're going to kick off with hooking up stuff on the radiator, putting the fan in. After we put the intake on, it's going to have an intake spacer, and just keep moving on from there. Rocking and rolling. We are improving the emissions on this vehicle. So there's that block off plate, homemade. Got the gasket on there because that valve will no longer bolt to that. With this intake spacer on, it changes the position of your dipstick and your bracket down there. Lifts it up about 1/4 of an inch. So you need to put washers in between the bottom of your intake manifold and that bolt, or if you bolt it up, you're going to be pulling that dipstick out of the oil pan. Transmission service, fuel injector rail installed, fuel lines hooked up, idle air control in position, getting ready to hook up this hose to it. Got the throttle cable on, turbo drain line on down there. We got the strut installed on this side, the CV axle installed on this side. Getting ready to put the strut in on the other side. Got the CV axle installed on this side and the courier in. Cooking right along. ECU, no TCU. It looks like everything is together except the O2 sensors. I'm going to go ahead and crank the car until I get the oil pressure light to go out. We have the ignition shut down. Serpentine belt's not on. Serpentine belt tensioner's not on. But everything else I think is together. Oh, upper torque mount isn't on. This is stuff Greg could do. Put his wheels on. He's messing around with the exhaust right now. So let me put the key in and start cranking it to get pressure build up through the oil system so that the engine's not starved of oil and we don't blow a turbo. See that oil pressure? You got to crank it till that oil pressure light goes out. I'm going to stop it and go under it, see if anything's leaking. Cranked it another 30 seconds and the low oil pressure light went out. There it is. We're ready to fire it up and start it. And we got action. Want to see if it shifts? Today's fuel saving tip: join a fuel rewards program. Most of your grocery stores have them. Most of your major oil companies have them. You could download their app and use them. You could save anywhere from 5 to 30 cents on a gallon of gas. Now, I know a lot of you people are worried about Big Brother tracking you, but let me tell you something. They're tracking millions of people, and they already know where you are. So join the program, save some money on gas. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.